Jim and Terry Show. We got one more in the tank. I thought you were pointing at something. You were just scratching your belly.
I'm glad your nurse is with you. Get you through that mini stroke.
I need another infusion. Yeah. I thought you were pointing at the screen saying, it's glitched.
I was playing with my keys in my pocket.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
And I'm sticking to that. I'm sticking to that.
I'm not looking. I don't care. We're talking about, we'll start with Danielle Smith in Alberta, and she is going after the teachers. Alberta teachers public teachers are on strike.
All right.
Why? Well, it seems that they are too woke, too DEI, and too public for Danielle Smith's vision of private education.
I'm not familiar with. They've gone on strike because she wants to change the curriculum.
It's probably at some point. That's one of the factors, but ultimately it all comes down to underfunding public education, public schools, while giving money to private schools. And that's it's all taxpayers' money. Why are you giving it to some and taking it away from others, especially when the others you are robbing Peter to pay Paul is a public school system?
I think it would be a simpler system, and I can't believe I'm saying this, to make schools have no religious affiliate at all. And you can't, that's not the subjects that can come up. Maybe only in history they can come up. But the rest of it is post your 10 Commandments, my 10 Commandments, but I meant in my home, and teach my children the ways I believe are true. And then in public, it should probably just be, religion should be completely left out for the exact reasons you said. Once you bring a religion in, you're bringing all kinds of religions in. And the only way to really defeat that is you got to have a whole bunch of private schools funded by the government, Muslim schools, Catholic schools, Protestant schools, Hindu schools.
Yeah, so
all of it.
The public coffers are not that deep.
Yeah, they're not that deep. So I would go the opposite. I would say public school is a religious. Is that how you would say
Irreligious.
it? Irreligious. It's not going to be taught here, and we don't want anything to do with religion in here. This is simply to learn in the lesser grades, reading, writing, and arithmetic, history, and then some of the sciences that take you into. Your religion is your choice. And to have a nation inflict that on you, I can't see it working, because then you may end up with a bunch of religious people, what am I thinking, who don't do anything that involves Christianity. They just call themselves Christians because they're not, that's all they call themselves. So I think that's the way I'd go with that, Terry.
Let's say that we have history in Ontario of a Catholic school system and a public school system. There was a time when I thought it was going to be funding, public tax was going to go for even private or Catholic education. I think Bill Davis dealt with that one, but still allowed the Catholic schools to continue. I'm not sure. I think I'm not saying one size fits all, but public education is the great chance to bring everybody together, teach what you want at home in terms of your belief system, and allow people to meet and talk about academics, about society, about math, all the curriculum that we call core curriculum.
I should ask my children, do they actually speak of God in Catholic schools?
Yeah.
Do they actually teach that? My wife, she was a substitute teacher in the Catholic system for a little while, and she's Protestant. So what did they? I don't know what she taught. That
most of the education,
or is it just a class that they have to go to?
Nuns used to be the primary teachers.
Yeah, but they're still teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic, right? I'm thinking.
Unless you're teaching English through the catechism or teaching English through other dogmatic.
How about this? A public school system. Private schools can be helped on a grant basis, on supply and demand basis. In other words, if the majority, you have X amount of funds, and whoever has the most students attending, which would probably be Muslim now in Canada, would get the higher amount of funds to help that school go on. But I can't see that working either, because a lot of other religions
I'm all for
would
the
be fighting.
uniform theory, which is public education, not one size fits all, because we believe that you teach the kids' needs and you need to diversify your approach. That's not it. The funding model should be uniform, which is everybody pays taxes, everybody benefits from a public school.
I think I agree with
that. And
that.
if you want your own sectarian, you can have your big mega church develop their own school. But that's their funding model. That's up to them.
The education and faith should come at home. That's my opinion. That should be your education and faith, where you're not going to be in arguments and everything, but you can just say, this is what we believe. And then not everybody's going to believe it. No. Muslims become Christians. No. Christians become Muslims. It's just the way the world is. Teach a child in the way he should go, and he won't depart from it. That's basically what you should hold to. But make sure you teach your children.
That's indoctrination, Jim. I don't agree with that passage at all.
Well, I do, because
that's brainwashing your kids.
Well, okay.
They don't have a choice. But when they're older, they can make the choice for themselves.
Well, it didn't say they weren't allowed to go. It says they won't depart from there.
That's right. That's right.
Now, you're right in one area, and this is one time I'm giving you it only, is that a lot of that was said going around a whole nation of teaching, a whole nation of teaching, where we haven't got that now, and you'd have to absolutely have Holocaust, go through complete destruction to rebuild a nation in your image. And we have a nation built I believe, in the image of God, and that's Israel.
Boy, that's not working out so well for Israel.
Well, no. Well, it's working out exactly as it's prophesied it's going to work out, and I don't know how we're going down this road. It was Israel that turned from God. God didn't turn from Israel, and he proves that in the end, if you believe the Bible, which I do. That's why we can't go down these roads, because we got different thoughts and beliefs. But I think, getting back to the public, I think if you're in a world so diversified and so connected together, you're wasting a lot of energy trying to force your faith onto a community.
That's a good phrase, force your faith, which is not the way.
Teach your children, and again, even in my own family, people have different beliefs and wandered off different areas. All I could do is what I did, and then after that, you just hope and pray.
Or trust.
Public, and trust. Public, just make it that faith is not allowed to enter into it. I'd almost go at least up through high school, no politics enter in either. They can learn that on their own.
That's hard to do, because even faith comes through in politics. Show me your faith by your political leanings. I've always maintained Jesus was not a conservative or a Republican.
He's a king. He's neither one.
I'm looking.
That's why he said, "Give to Caesar what is Caesar's."
I'm looking at his teachings and saying I do not see republicanism or conservatism in his teachings.
No, but again, he was a king. I mean, if you want to go the left leaning,
take out the title, because that's conferred. You're conferring the title of king on him. That's a spiritual title from your view of Scripture.
Yeah.
Just look at the guy wandering, maybe barefoot, sandals, no stones for a pillow, and tell me that
but he also would then say
preacher.
Then he would also say to those, if you like, for the sake of this argument, woke, he would say to them, stop sinning. That's what he would say.
If you believe that what you describe as woke is sin.
Yeah, but he would, because Jesus did talk against certain things that we think or we want approved of. So he would have spoke against that. So you're not going to. You can't have both sides.
There's no Jesus utterance on homosexuality.
I would have to look that up, but I believe there is.
Okay, we can get back. That's right in if you know the answer to the Jim and Terry show, or Jim and I will have to look it up ourselves. But that's my understanding.
Well, we know that he said he is the law, and we know it was within the law written that...
You're talking about him being the fulfillment of the Old Testament.
Yeah, and he said, I am the law. And what it was is, of course, the Ten Commandments, and then there was the other laws that went in too, how you should act, how you should, all kinds of stuff that we've all screwed up on.
And all these things should be posted on, if you're in the States, you are going to a Republican state and a school, you have the Ten Commandments posted at the entranceway of the school.
You don't have to read them if you don't want to.
No, they don't have to be posted either if you don't want them to. The Jim and Terry Show, contentious as always. Though that makes it fun in the morning. Jim gets breakfast, I get the arguments.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.